am then. And we look at this team coming up now and this Ospreys game coming up. You played a different side against Bordeaux, I think it's fair to say, and you give a lot of players their first start of the season. Will you look to maybe mix and match it against Ospreys and perhaps bring some of your more established Premiership players back into the side, or is this another opportunity for the Johnny Hills and the Skinners of this world, the Badillis, to impress you?
A little bit of both. Obviously, playing at home is very important to us. Winning games at home is very important to us. I think showing that we're a better team than probably that we produced when we went up to Ospreys. The performance we produced up at Ospreys is important to us. But also getting ourselves up and running and getting the right group of players ready to get back into the Premiership is important for us. So we've got quite a few aims within this game. But the first and the most important one is to put a team on the pitch to win the game. I think that's pretty simple. We felt going over to Bordeaux that group of players, we knew it would be tough, but we did genuinely think that group of players could come through that game. And as it was, we were proved almost correct. You think one defensive slip up that denies them a try, and we collect one line out and we force one issue, and all of a sudden that game is a fantastic win for us as a squad away from home. Collecting a bonus point in France against a strong side is pretty good anyway, and we were close to getting the win. So we're a little frustrated, but not with our levels of commitment or physicality or the endeavour of the players. But that's gone now, and the important thing now is for us to do the best thing for the club going forward, and that's the kind of team we'll select. Some guys need game time, some guys need a further rest, and some of the guys who played very well against Bordeaux deserve another opportunity. So all of those things will get taken into consideration.
Realistically, can you make the top 8 in this competition?
Well, it looks pretty tough. Realistically, you would say no, but that's not at the forefront of my mind. The forefront of my mind is the level of performance we put in this weekend.
So with that in mind, is it fair to say the Premiership is now pretty much your priority?
Well, I'll tell you on Sunday after the results will come in, and we'll know where we stand, won't we? At the minute, I can't. What can I say? Mathematically, it's potentially possible. So until the results come in, I can't say too much. If we win the game, we go through. Well, it's still going to be a huge priority. This competition is still going to be massive for us. But if we don't go through, then obviously the Premiership becomes the forefront of our attention, and we've got to make sure we're really good when we go up to Worcester.
Who do you feel the danger men are in Ospreys? They obviously beat you, and I think a lot of people were surprised when they beat you, even at their place, because you'd be doing so well in the league.
Yeah.
First part, do you feel you owe them one? And the second part, who are the guys who you've really got to stop in order to beat them here?
Well, interesting enough, I think when you watch Ospreys' recent games and you actually look at our game away from home, that the biggest, in a way, the biggest threat that we didn't deal with was when Ospreys didn't have the ball in a way. And the pressure they created away from actually kind of running through us or running round us or running over us. They gathered their kicks very well. In particular, Dan Bigger, he kicked and he recovered his kicks really well. That put us under some pressure. We were a little bit ill-disciplined in defence when not under great pressure, which led to points getting kicked over. And we were probably just a little bit lax in the direction of how we wanted to attack, and that created turnovers and that created pressure on ourselves. So I think really, for me, it's more about us having a real focus and strong focus on ourselves and what we want to achieve, and making sure we're getting the things out of the game we want to. It's not really about settling scores or anything like that. It's about us concentrating on ourselves and getting what we want out of the game. We didn't feel we did that at Ospreys, but the truth of it was a Champions Cup game, and Ospreys dealt with it better than we did. I can sit here and go, we weren't good and Ospreys weren't that good, and all this kind of stuff, and people, you say people expected us to win. The truth was Ospreys had a team full of internationals, probably with a bit more experience in the Champions Cup than us, and fair play to them, they dealt with the whole day way better than we did. We've got to take that on the chin, and we've got to keep developing as a side so that when those days come around, we deal with it better than the opposition. And I think it's a great opportunity for us this weekend to show that we can deal with a situation where a team come with the intention of qualifying out the Champions Cup, because that's what will happen if Ospreys win, and we can deal with the situation of meeting that head on and coming over the top of it. I think it's a great challenge for us.
So I do. Thank you very much.
Rob, you talked about how proud you were of the boys last week, but for some of those guys, big introduction to Champions Cup rugby, and they stood up well, didn't they? The likes of Hill, Skinner, Badilli.
And I think that's what we focused about on this week. That obviously what we asked for, which was a great deal of energy and a great deal of kind of physical endeavour, and to really go for it. And we talked a lot during the week about making sure we were going for the win and not being too worried about making mistakes. And we got that. I can't fault the guys for their endeavour over there in France. But the truth was, when you break the game down, a little bit of lack of detail and accuracy, cost us a lot. Our line out kind of fell apart on its accuracy and the detail that was needed there. We made a couple of defensive slip-ups that were pretty soft in a way. We didn't really ram home a couple of opportunities that came our way, and those all added up. And they were all really about the detail, about just getting little bits and pieces right and focusing on your jobs. We've talked at length about that this week, and as I said, one of the outcomes of that is that actually we have to make sure that sometimes you've got a group of 23 or 27 guys who are training and playing together and regularly, and actually they get the opportunities to carry lots of ball, make lots of tackles, do lots of clear-outs, win lots of line-outs, defend lots of mauls, because they're doing it every Saturday or every Sunday. And what you've got to make sure is that the guys you want to drop in and out of that situation have a little bit more prep. And I think that, as I said, that'll be a big focus for us now going forward. As we know those guys can step in and they can give us great energy and they've got a great attitude. What we've got to make sure is that they're all kind of absolutely at the top of their game in all the little bits and pieces, so that when they come in over this next 10 weeks, which some of them undoubtedly will, that they're absolutely ready to go and they can give themselves the best opportunity to play really well.